Welcome back to Modified Fate. I just realized I didn't check the volume on that before we started, but I'm sure you guys are okay. I'm here with Blackcraft and Wheelman.
Hello.
Hello.
Um,
Wait,
what?
we said that at the same time.
Yeah,
I don't know that they know the two people here.
Hello.
So,
Hello.
we're gonna do our first two full box reviews of the new year. Elsa and Man Thing, and then Nova and Yondu. They release January 30th. But first, we'll kick it off with a little game for you guys.
Ooh.
So, I have compiled, I don't know comics very well, but I've compiled 3 facts for 3 specific characters. And the other 2 will be tasked with telling me which fact is a lie. If I fool both of them, I will get a point. If they guess it correctly, they'll get a point. And then
I like it.
we'll see the winner at the end. So the first character is Black Cat. You guys know a lot about Black Cat?
Not
A
really.
little bit.
Okay. Fact number 1. She learned martial arts and acrobatics to kill her college boyfriend, for sexually assaulting her. Although she never gets the chance to kill him.
Ooh. Okay.
That got dark really quick.
Starting off strong. Fact number 2. Her first act as the Black Cat was to break her father out of prison. Despite interference from Spider-Man, she succeeds, although her father dies shortly after.
Okay.
Noticing a theme here?
Um,
Alright, and number 3. After Civil War, she attended Stiltman's funeral. Attended by many villains and heroes, whom were all poisoned by the bartender, the Punisher.
Man, I don't know. What are you thinking, Joel?
Oh man.
I'm kind of thinking it's the first one is the
I'm
I don't know though. The second one seems too specific.
and the third one seems goofy enough to be real.
That's kind of where I'm at, but it also could be just a complete swerve. I think it's the first or the third.
They're all very unfortunate things, which is a theme for her. So
The second one seems the most real, almost. I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ah.
Learning martial arts to kill your boyfriend seems a little sus.
Yeah, I think that's the
I
one
feel
I'm
like
gonna
there's
say.
other
but-
ways. I'll lock it in with you. I think we're gonna go with the
Oh
first one
god,
is
now we're definitely gonna
false.
get it wrong.
you locked in, both of you?
Yeah, locked in with A.
So the lie was number 3.
Oh,
That was
okay.
a super villain, I guess, named Cat. It was a dude.
Oh, okay. I see how it's gonna go.
All right.
Okay.
All right, point to you.
Next character, Mystique. You guys know a lot about Mystique?
No.
Joel?
A little bit.
All right.
You're asking about a character that becomes convoluted down the line. So.
That is the point of this, yes. Number 1 fact. She is Nightcrawler's father and eventually throws him down a cliff, fleeing a village.
Oh God. Oh, Nightcrawler's father. Okay.
All right. Number 2. She-Hulk defeated the voodoo practitioner Black Talon to allow the resurrected zombie form of Mystique to return to true death.
Oh my God. Okay.
All right. And the last one, Green Goblin implants nanotech into her and threatens to turn her into a bomb, forcing her to join his X-Men.
Green Goblin? Oh, I think this is almost a complete shot in the dark for me, I think.
The third one might be real because it might be from the Dark Avengers era.
How would she be Nightcrawler's dad?
The first one is she is his mother. So I don't know if the dad is the Swerve part. Or if they've retconned that. They could have retconned the whole thing. I don't know. I see that's the part that's tricky now. I would say
You
A
did say
is false.
dad, right, Lucas?
Father.
I said father.
Father.
So I would say A because as far as I'm aware, unless they have changed it,
Yeah, because
he is Nightcrawler's.
Like, even if she morphs into a dude, right? She doesn't, like, become a guy, right?
Well, see, that's the thing about Mystique. Like her power is consistently inconsistent when it needs to be convenient.
I see.
So
She's like the walking Swiss Army knife.
I'm certain in the continuity I'm familiar with, and that most people I think would say no, that she's Nightcrawler's mother.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with that one too because I have no context for her.
The last one I bet is true because of Dark Avengers, and I'm guessing happened during the Dark.
Wait, he said you said for Green Goblin's X-Men?
Yep.
So the Dark X oh man, we're just gonna talk comic books. So I'm guessing when he took over Shield after during Dark Reign, when he ran the Dark Avengers, of course they just called themselves the Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
I know everybody kind of got their. I can see him building his own X-Men in his image.
But implanted her with nanotech to turn her into a bomb.
Yeah, it sounds a lot like Suicide Squad.
Yeah, and that's the thought is Suicide. You're gonna be my X-Men,
or I'm gonna blow you up.
Or I'm gonna blow you up is what I'm thinking.
And the second one was zombie resurrection, right?
Yep. She-Hulk defeated voodoo practitioner Black Talon to allow the resurrected zombie form of Mystique to return to true death.
Oh,
I think I'm going A. Sensing a theme here. I think
I would only say A because the father-mother difference. That's really what I'm leaning on, and I believe 3 is the real one.
I feel like we're gonna get caught out by a weird retcon.
B could be the false one, but I just feel so strongly about A because of that mother-father dynamic. So,
I mean, we have to agree on one, right, Lucas?
You can choose.
I'm gonna choose A.
Yeah, I don't have any context to not go with that, so best guess A.
Both locking in?
Yep.
Yeah, we're locking in.
So Mystique is now Nightcrawler's father.
Oh, jeez.
And I thought you would know that because of the shared podcast we listened to, because they've talked about it several times.
I completely missed that.
So the lie was number 2.
Okay.
She-Hulk defeated voodoo practitioner Black Talon, blah, blah, blah. That was Changeling.
Okay.
All right. So this is going well. I'm enjoying this game.
You've already won, right?
Yeah, I've got 2. But we'll do the third one regardless. So the character is Valkyrie.
Oh yeah, good luck. I don't know.
I don't know anything about Valkyrie.
So it's Brunhild or Brunhild Valkyrie. Yep. So fact number 1. She is 6'3" and a staggering 475 pounds. Also claims to not just be Asgardian, as she has served something older than Asgard. That's the same fact.
Okay.
Number 2, Loki chose Brunhild. I forgot the R when I typed it in here. So Brunhild to become the object of Thor's eye by giving him a love potion in an attempt to depose Thor during Loki's schemes.
That sounds completely logical.
And number 3, Brunhild resents Odin for barring the Valkyries from choosing warriors from Earth. She wanders aimlessly around Asgard until forming a partnership with Amora the Enchantress.
I want to say A again.
Oh my gosh.
It's gotta. I don't know.
So the reason I don't know.
The second one sounds completely plausible.
I don't think she's that tall. 6'4", 400 pounds.
6'3", 475.
I just wonder why the combination of the stats and the serving an older, that just seems odd. That's why I sort of keyed in on it, because it's an odd combination of information.
I don't think she's normally that tall. Because I'm just thinking of pictures I've seen her in. She's not that tall. She might be taller than normal, but like the pictures I've seen, she's next to like Namor and Doctor Strange and the Hulk, and she is not that tall.
It's all about perspective.
That's fair. She was she was sitting down on a chair, and everyone else was standing up, I guess. Man, do I gotta say A again?
I'm going with my gut. I'm saying
The
A.
wa-
Locked in.
The wandering one might be real. I can see that being a real thing. And the Love Potion one feels like an old Silver Age comic. Because it's either Jane Foster or Lady Sif are usually Thor's love interest. So I guess, dang, we're all in on A today.
Yep, I think
They've been
so.
wrong so far. So let's.
And you guys are sticking together on everyone. It's great, crazy.
I have no context to make me pick another guess, so they're just all falling into A. So lock it in.
You locked in Blackcraft?
Yeah, locked in on A.
Man, this is way easier than I thought it would be. So number 2 is the lie. You literally said the character that took the love potion, Lady Sif.
Oh. Okay.
All right.
I thought.
Did you get the
you
game
said
backwards?
Thor takes the love potion. I guess I misheard it.
Loki chose Brunhild to become the object of Thor's eye by giving him a love potion.
Okay.
But it was actually Sif that was the object?
I'm pretty sure I didn't write down which character it actually was.
Okay. Okay, well, we got smoked.
Man. I'll try less hard next time.
So she's 6'3" and 475 pounds?
That's according to Marvel's website, yes.
God, well, I'm looking up like Doctor Strange and Namor's height now, because that's I'm about to Google stuff now. I was being a very good boy and not Googling things.
Well, yeah, you can't cheat. But plus, they're very obscure facts, so it'd take you a while. All right, so our first box is Elsa and Man-Thing. Let's get into them. Holy cow, it's bright. She's 4 physical, 3 energy, 4 mystic, 6 health on both sides, 4 threat, size 2, medium move. Blackcraft, you can take the attacks.
Oh, we're doing Elsa first. I literally opened up Man-Thing first. Good job, me.
I don't.
All right. I guess we're going in alphabetical order. All right.
That's the box
Monster
order.
Hunting Weapons is a 4 range, 5 strength builder. With a crit cursing shot. After this attack is resolved, the target character gains slow and wild hellfire. After the attack is resolved, the target character gains incinerate. And then she has wild blood gem blast, 3 range, 6 strength, 1 power cost. During the pay step of this attack, you can spend up to 3 additional power add 1 die for each power spent this way. On a wild, G generation X. After this attack is resolved, the defender cannot
Leave
have
me to
damage
it.
removed from it until the end
Wow.
of the activation phase this round.
Well, and that was recently errated to add this round on the end of it because people can't read.
Yeah.
You want to take the rest there?
Yep.
Wheelman?
Legion of Monsters, Affiliation Midnight Suns. Once per turn, when an allied character targets a character with an attack, it may pay 1 power. If it does, the attack gains your choice of one of the following effects. Boom. Before damage is dealt, each other character within 2 of the target character suffers 1 damage. Horrify. After this attack is resolved, the target character gains the root special condition. And then Silver Bullet. Damage caused by this attack cannot be reduced or prevented by superpowers or team tactics cards. Then we got a power running gun for 2 power costs. It's an action. This character immediately makes an attack action followed by a move action. And then another ability, 2 power costs. While this character is defending against a physical or mystic attack, during the modified dice step of the attack, it may use this superpower. This character may reroll any number of its defense dice, including skull results. And then we have Bearer of the Blood Gem. When an enemy character causes this character to gain 1 or more special conditions after the effect is resolved, the enemy character suffers 1 damage. Additionally, this character cannot be advanced or placed by the effects of mystic attacks or enemy superpowers.
Yep. She's the same on both sides.
Yep.
So her tactics card is Covering Fire. It is unaffiliated reactive. During the power phase, Elsa may spend 2 power to play the card. While this character is not dazed until the end of the round, once per turn, after the first time each turn. That's a lot of commas. An attack targeting this character or another allied character is resolved if the attacker is within 4 of Elsa. She may roll 5 dice. If she does, it deals 1 damage to the attacking character for each crit and wild in the result. It is massive Counter-Strike.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you guys think?
I mean, I've played her a few times on tabletop against you. She's very mobile. The range is really good. She can kind of be wherever you need her to be. Covering Fire is a good, I don't know, deal with me kind of thing. Like,
yeah,
if you get it set up well where you have a nice bubble shield around people, then they kind of have to. You force your opponent to deal with it. I like her. I think if you keep her away like she wants to be, or in and out kind of thing, I think she's really good, and I've had fun playing her. Again, it's only 2 or 3 games.
Yeah.
First game she got nuked. I think the second and third she hung around. So yeah, I like her.
Yeah, running gun's the best thing she's got. It's incredibly strong.
Especially because it's not limited. You can do it twice if you can pay for it.
Mm-hmm. So she gets 4 actions if she has 4 power. What do you think, Blackcraft?
Well, actually, now that you pointed that out, I didn't realize running gun is only once per turn.
Isn't once per turn, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That is really good. Unless they errata it. But
they would just give her hit and run if they did that.
Yeah, that's fair. I like her. Yeah, I like her in general. If I have to give her a negative, I feel like she feels very power hungry. Because she's probably paying for her running guns and her abilities, on her leadership,
Mm-hmm.
and then her her spender is deceptively cheap because you can potentially want to pay more for it for just a couple extra dice. I mean, I'm not going to say she's bad and that I don't like her, because she does a little bit of everything, and is, I think, deceptively defensive. So she's good. That's, I guess, if I have to like be like, okay, let's bring up a negative. That's it. Like, she wants a lot of power to do a lot of things, and she'll have to make choices, generally speaking. If she can't do everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think her leadership is that much. I mean, Blade's leadership is definitely the best leadership still, but this is very versatile. Root is very strong. She just cancels your survival tactics card.
A survival,
Odin's Blessing.
for Odin's Blessing, any sort of damage reduction. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's fills a role as a leader for them, for sure.
And in the game.
Yeah.
Because there's really no one with this kind of like diversity of effects, especially in a leadership.
I just want to know why they copy pasted Blade's stats over onto her. And supernatural senses.
Yeah, I think they just kind of. It seems the way the game is going, from my limited
They don't want to
experience,
vary
is
the leaders too much.
the leaders are kind of going to be this, different sides of the same coin almost, and it's seeming like it's getting very, not necessarily anti-splashy, but it's really getting hard to splash.
Yeah.
Into rosters as they fill out. It's, you pretty much just, it's getting to the point where you want to play with affiliated characters more often than not.
Mm-hmm.
As your the bulk of your roster, not just enough to trigger your affiliation, but actually like just fill it out.
Yeah. So on like a letter grade scale, what would you guys do?
I'm gonna go
whatever letter Blade is, but just one behind. Like,
Oh, really?
if you put her like put him at like an A, she's also an A, but she's right behind him.
Blade an A? You're crazy.
Like, whatever you put Blade at. Whatever you put Blade
He's probably
his leadership is an A.
Yeah, his leadership is an A.
His leadership's an A, and she's right there, right behind him. If you're going left to right
on
Blade.
The image, yeah.
Oh, yes.
She's 1A to his 1. Yeah, I'd go like B plus. That was what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well.
You're not gonna splash. I don't see her getting splashed in anything.
No.
I don't know. Looking at her superpowers, I'm like, Steve won.
Well, I guess there is a case.
Well, that's everybody,
for
so.
certain, yeah. Or I don't know if you really consider it a splash if you're playing like Dracula, where
yeah,
you basically everything is a splash because there's only one character in the affiliation. So
she's also in Defenders. I think she's actually pretty decent under Doctor Strange, because her monster hunting weapons becoming Hex, Slow, Incinerate. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, I've kind of been wanting to look into. If there is value in having a Defenders list within my Midnight Suns for certain situations. I just haven't really delved into it.
There's a lot of crossover between those two.
Yeah, a ton.
It'd
be very easy.
Huge roster in general.
I think the card might bump her above Blade, in my opinion, though.
It's a good card.
Bring what? Siege? And
Siege is an auto take, yeah.
I don't know that they bring any other cards, so there's plenty of room for it. Defenders has a bunch of attack backs. Put Cover Me on top of that. Is the Defender's card Cover Me and then Covering Fire on top of that? You're the Defender's player.
Let me reread Covering Fire here. They are two extra. They are two separate. So it obviously depends on the setup. But if you attack my character I played Covering Fire on, if they're within 4 of Elsa, she will shoot them. And then somebody else can also attack them, or Elsa can attack them again.
Yeah. That
So
seems pretty
it's
good.
one's an actual attack, so she can use monster hunting weapons
Yeah.
on them. And then this one is the 5 dice. It's the
Yeah, the
free
Counter
strike.
Strike. Yeah.
Yeah, Counter-Strike style. So there's a little bit of difference there, but yeah,
Yeah, she has some
theoretically,
Defender's play for sure. All right.
just everybody gets cover fire.
Cover Fire. Okay.
Cover me. Okay,
Cover
covering
me.
fire.
Okay, I was like, let's cover it. What the hell?
No, because the card is cover me, and the
Yeah.
other one is covering fire. So
Yep. All right. And her box mate, Man Thing. 3 physical, 3 energy, 4 mystic, 6 HP, 3 threat, size 3, short move. Willman, you can do the attacks this time.
Okay. Start with Lashing Tendrils. Is physical, range 3, 5, strength 5. After this attack is resolved, the character gains power equal to damage dealt. Wild Hit, reel in. After this attack is resolved, if the target character is size 3 or less, it may be pushed towards this character short. Then we have a Mystic, Emotional Agitation, range 3, strength 7, 3 cost. After this attack is resolved, the target character gains the Incinerate and Poison special conditions. Guardian of the Nexus of All Realities, costs 3. What's that?
You're just doing the whole thing?
Yeah, I'll just do them.
Okay.
Choose this character or another allied character within 3 of it, and place the chosen character within 3 of its current position. You can a character can only be affected by the superpower once per turn. All who know fear burn at the Man-Thing's touch. After an attack made by this character is resolved, or after an attack targeting this character is resolved, if damage was dealt and the enemy character is within 2 of this character, the enemy character gains the Incinerate special condition. And then Moss and Mud and Swamp. When this character is defending, enemy characters do not roll additional dice for crit results in their attack rolls. And he has healing factor 2 and immune to hex and stun. I believe he's the same on both sides.
He might lose a health. Yeah, he's 5 on backside. He has a card, Dimensional Quagmire, unaffiliated reactive. During the power phase, an allied Man-Thing may spend 2 power to play this card. While this character is not dazed until the end of the round, once per turn, the first time. Both of these guys have the same triggers on their thing. Each turn, an enemy character begins a movement within 3 of Man-Thing and ends a movement not within 3 of him. Roll a die. If the result is a attack success, place the enemy character within 3 of Man-Thing. All right, hit us with the knowledge here, Blackcraft.
Oh. Well, I genuinely like him. Generally like him. I think he's a nice, efficient little package for 3 points. I think he brings a fun card. I think I honestly do feel like there's something to him being a point sitter. I don't really have negative things to him. The biggest positive thing is that Moss and Mud and Swamp is really good because basically giving your opponent hex without actually giving them hex is pretty nice. It means there's always a cap on their attacks, and that's whatever they roll. So he can't be spiked as easily. And because of that, things like stun, immunity, and healing factor 2 are actually pretty nice because it means he starts becoming power efficient and activation. I would say always activation neutral because I feel like you'll get that healing factor 2 off more often than you'd think.
Yeah, I would have loved to have had him this past weekend in my game against Red Skull. Turning off those crits would have been incredible. Would have been a game changer, honestly. I guess I'll go. I also think he's generally good. I think the defense. I mean, he's a three threat, right? So like Joel said, he's probably a point sitter. Sort of like in Kantu, where you don't just run in Kantu up there, even though he's survivable. If he gets, you always say if they get spiked, it sucks, but like that goes for everything. Like I lost my Dracula in one attack this past weekend. So yeah, like top of 3, he was dead. He got spiked twice. So I don't know if using that as a negative really works in this game, because spikes happen all the time, even if people say they don't. But yeah, I think he's generally good. It's hard to tell because I have one game on TTS with him, and he didn't really do much, but that doesn't mean much. So I don't really have any experience as far as his play style yet. But I think he ends up sitting back, and he doesn't really need power per se. So if you want to come beat up on him and turn on the emotional agitation, I guess that's okay. And then he can prevent you from leaving potentially with dimensional quagmires. So I don't know. I think he's good, but yet to be determined.
Okay. So the negative aspect of the podcast. Here we go. My problem with him is he's very ignorable. He doesn't do a whole lot, and he's very slow. His card is very conditional. It only even works half of the time.
Yeah.
What else? It's been so long since we looked at him. 3 physical is not great. That's why Encantu will get played over him almost every time. Or every time.
I have a counter argument.
Go for it.
Well, continue. Let's let you finish.
I'm pretty well done. I don't have much in the chamber here.
Oh, okay. My counter argument is that I've shot at crop circles Domino a lot to know that no critting thing sucks.
Domino? You mean Black Cat?
No, Domino has it also. She's got a better version because it's attack or defense.
No, she changes her stuff to crits.
No, it's the enemy. Yeah, the things tend to go my way when this character is attacking or defending. Enemy characters do not roll additional dice for crit.
Oh, so yeah.
Having shot at her a bunch of times, I know it's hella annoying. So maybe that's PTSD. I will say similarly to Domino, they have this, that comes with the same weakness, is that they're both 3 physical defense and they hate things getting thrown at them because then they don't get that super cool bonus. They don't. She has to. Domino has to use her effect to try and get out of it, but and Man Thing's gonna probably just burn your brace frame.
Yeah.
But that's just 2 cents, and that's more of a tactics thing, when I guess we could say to everybody, as if you find that maybe the crit thing hurts, you can just throw. If you can throw things, it's probably better for putting that damage in. Strategy.
I mean, you're right. He is ignorable, but if you can make it to where he's not as easy to ignore, like on, I don't know, Gamma, where, the incentive is to get to the other side of the board and score the 2 points instead of the 1, maybe. I don't know. If he's sitting on that.
Taken 4 turns to get there.
No, I'm saying he sits on yours and defends the goal, basically.
That's fair.
And then you're sort of, and maybe there's a piece of cover there, maybe there's not, that you can utilize as somebody's approaching. But if you can put him on something that they're going to have to engage with, you can negate a bit of that ignorability. And like I said, worrying about dice spikes, it's hard to. I mean, you're probably going to survive, an attack on 6, and hopefully they're only getting 1 as they approach. There's the physical does. It's bad. Like, yeah, of course
they're gonna have to commit. If they're already committed, he probably is going down. But if they're like,
yeah, but I think that's
there's
most
no chance
threats,
of like,
right?
yeah. Well,
probably
if you want a 3-threat dead, no, not in Kantu. I mean, he's. I think in Kantu is like almost out of the discussion, right? Like he's just so good for a 3-threat that he's almost in a tier of his own.
Yeah. And that's my other thing. He gets edged out by so many people in his affiliations already. Like Encanto, Black Cat. And then that's probably him as the third 3 in Midnight Suns.
Yeah, I mean, there's Black Panther, there's Moon Knight. I think their 3s are just very situational.
Yeah.
Other than Encanto, like if you have room for 3, he's your number 1 pick, and then you go from there. Like basically, if you're taking a 3, it starts with Elsa or Blade, and then Encanto, and then. He's probably more situational than not. He doesn't get played a ton, but
cool model.
Yeah, it's a sick model. I think a lot of the community was expecting him to be more of a centerpiece is the right word. Yeah. Like, sort of like Frankenstein in that vein.
Yeah, at the very least. Yeah.
I agree. No, I think the community was expecting kind of like he's theoretically super powerful in the comics. Like he's like almost a cosmic entity. And so people were expecting like a 5-threat guy. He probably would have been 4s across the board at a minimum, had more other defensive tricks, and probably had like bigger. He probably would have had his team tactics cards on his card, on his actual character card. Like I think, and
that
I
would
don't
make him really good.
People for like wanting that, because that's sort of how the Man Thing is presented. He's like, if he shows up, like there's almost no escaping him. If he shows up, things are really bad. A 3-threat isn't like, so it kind of feels like a. I think Sandman is who I would compare him to in terms of like, this is a character that was limited by his point cost, because his point cost, they purposely limited their point cost for whatever reason. Maybe they wanted that 3-cost hole to be filled in certain teams. Kind of like so like Sandman kind of feels like we pushed him so far and then we pulled back and lowered his cost, and people really would have really appreciated like a big beater. I mean, even if he doesn't fit, like even if somehow they made him 5 and he was worse than what we got here, at the very least, I think that expectation might have been met.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you give him another physical, give him his health back on the flip, maybe a throw, and then figure out the threat from there. But
A throw would be
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
yeah, so that's
Or-
something that Midnight Suns does not have a lot of. So
And that might have been the other problem is they didn't want to put bump and make Guardian too easy to use
mhm.
because that's just so much placement.
Well, I
They
mean,
were trying.
you can eye hawk all the way across the board, so I don't know how they factor that in.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I mean, bump does help him. So
Bump helps him a lot.
he's
Like,
technically better under Blade as a like. I don't. Yeah, he doesn't really.
yeah,
Maybe he's a. I don't know. Maybe he's a bodyguard with Mephisto. Like I don't know. There's some stuff to try out with him.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Who
that's
knows what
it.
our
That's-
new crisis will be? Maybe
Yeah,
we'll
I
find
mean,
it there.
Maybe he has a home in the new stuff we don't know about, and that's it's hard to judge stuff off that right now because the game's going to be near it probably going to be a paradigm shift here in the next year. So
Or he has to be played in timelines. Like if you're dedicated to timelines, like, you have to have him in your
The
end
one
effectively.
timeline tournament they've ever had.
Well, we could talk about timelines maybe another time. I like the idea of timelines. I don't like their execution.
Yeah.
But we're also relatively new to the game, so.
Yeah. So what would you give Man Thing letter wise?
I'm gonna also give him a B right now. Maybe a B minus. I don't think. I don't know. B. Yeah, I'll go with B minus.
Yeah, I'd probably go with a solid C, maybe C plus.
Dang.
I guess my thought is if Encantu's an S or an A plus, then he's that far away from him. So
That's fair. I would give him a B minus as well. So I'm not the lowest, surprisingly.
I think there's just a lot to be determined with this one.
All right. So this box coming out on a scale of 1 to 10, how good is it? We're gonna change up the rating scale for the boxes.
I think having another leadership for Midnight Suns alone is probably worthy of at least an 8.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I'd say an 8 also. Like Alpha really does. I mean, it's a leadership in a team that wants one. So like, I mean, if we watch A-Force players begging for another leadership,
Me.
and who'd have thought Midnight Suns would get theirs first?
Yeah, I mean,
So-
apparently enough people throughout the history of the game playing Midnight Suns have just decided not to go with a leadership, like they don't play affiliated. So
because they don't like
the-
Blade. Yeah.
so adding the second one. But man, the amount of times that a range 1 move comes in so handy, it's
Bump is
just
so strong, man.
you don't really think about it until you're like, oh, if I had played Blade, I score this point and things are different, that kind of thing,
Yeah.
It's just so good. So, yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 7, just so I'm not all 8s with you guys. Mostly because Elsa's about the only thing I like in this box. And her card, obviously.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts on these guys before we move on?
Yeah, I'm buying them. Midnight Suns, so.
Man, if I were dedicated, I mean, I got enough teams. I like them, but I'm looking at my Apocalypse crew, so I'm gonna probably pass for a good while.
Well, we'll go move on to a box that you were more excited about. I don't know if you still are. Yondu and Nova. We'll start with a Nova. Why is that so bright every time?
Looks good on stream.
It looks clean on stream to me.
It is a
Alright.
little bright.
So Nova He's 4s across the board defense-wise, 7 health on both sides, 5 threat, size 2 long mover. And go for it, Blackcraft.
All right, so I mean, I'm happy to read the whole Nova.
Oh,
Yeah, go for it.
card.
All you.
A lot.
I like Nova. No, so spoilers, not spoilers. I won't hold back my opinion like I did the Killmonger reveal. So, Nova Burst is energy 2, range 5. After the attacker is resolved, gain 1, so it's a gainer. And Wild, just throw. If the target character is size 4 or less, throw it short. It's pretty good. Gravimetric Cannon, energy 4, range 6, gainer. Has push, period. If the tail's damage pushes the character away short. And Wild Shield, give them judgment. One freaking status we never see.
It's on 2 other people.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
what
the
is-
rarest.
What does Judgment even do?
It's like super stun. You don't.
Oh, okay.
If you're judged, you don't gain power when you take damage. And Lightspeed Lance, which is his big spender, is a beam 5, 7 damage, strength 5 cost. After the attack is generated, all attacks generated by this attack are resolved. Place the character within one of the last character targeted by the attack. So it works like flyby on Angel. And on a Wild, push. So as you do each of those, you can push him around. Then he has 2. Faster than light for 2 power. This is an action. He makes an attack action and then places himself within 2. And then Xandarian World Mind, which is an X power action. When he or an allied character within 3 makes a defense or dodge roll, he can spend up to 3 power to reroll those. And then he has Nova Force, which is when this character makes a move action during its activation. Excuse me. After the attack is resolved, he gains 2 power, removes all special conditions, and adds 3 dice to the next attack roll made as part of Nova Burst or Lightspeed Lance. This character can only be affected by this power once per turn. And lastly, he has Flight and Incinerate immunity. So, like I said, I really like Nova. Like, we were just talking about like Man-Thing not living up to a 5-drop, not being made as a 5-drop, and what people kind of expected. Like, this is what I more or less expected from Nova, and sort of got more. Like, I'm super excited for this character. I want to play Guardians basically just for this character. I like the character in this first place. He has some fun stuff where he has a Juggernaut style effect that lets him get power for free, gets bonus dice. He has a really easy throw when he's in melee. He has a really easy push if he's holding down a point or just trying to get people off of points. And he's got a movement effect, an attack and move. And then he's got his beam is fun. And especially when you can get it up to 10 dice off of Nova Force. I just like a lot of him. Is he perfect? Probably not. I'm sure there's plenty of counter strategies to him. He more of what Guardians are already crazy amount of energy attacks. But he's just a big, like their biggest gun now in faction gun. And I think that counts for a lot.
Yeah, definitely. It does have 2 tactics cards as well. First one is Call for Backup. It is unaffiliated active. During this activation, Nova may spend 3 power to play this card. Choose one of the following. Move along, citizen. Choose a secure objective within 2 of this character. Push enemy characters contesting that objective short. Stop in the name of the law. Each enemy character that is holding an extract objective token gains the slow special condition. No range on that one. And then veterans of the Annihilation War. During the power phase, an allied Gamora and an allied Richard Rider may play this card. This round, Gamora gains the following superpower. World Mind Uplink. When this character is defending against an attack or making a dodge roll, it may reroll up to 2 of its defense or dodge dice. This round, Richard Rider gains the following superpower. Star-Crossed Strike. When this character makes an attack, if there are 1 or more wild results in the attack roll, it may change 1 die to a hit. What do you think, Wheelman?
He's really freaking good. I think somebody at AMG is a big fan of him, just like you are, Joel. Just like even comparing him to Dracula at 5. He right off the rip, he outclasses a lot of 5-threat characters. I'd even put him in the conversation with Thor at 6. So, 7 health, 4s across the board, long move. As a Midnight Suns player, I do not want to see him on the other side of the board for sure. He eats my
Onto
everything. Everything is weak to energy except for Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
So like
Both leaders, yeah.
Yeah, he punks me for my lunch money like easily. So yeah, I think he could, even as he stands, I think you could put a 6 there and it's probably okay. So it'll be interesting to see him on the table, but they might have overcooked this one, or maybe undercooked is the better term, but I think he's really good, and I think he's going to be seen a lot.
Yeah. Having played against him one time, he lives up to what's on his paper. That how you felt playing with him, Blackground?
Oh man, it was legitimately fun. Like I could see the stupid comic strip in my brain. Like that game didn't go well at the end of it, but the one thing that went well was Nova the entire game.
Yeah.
Like he could not be stopped. He was all over the board. Every turn, basically, or practically, was doing a light speed lance.
Yeah, you don't need 2 attack actions when you can move and beam 2 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, he pretty much wants to move.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing I've learned with Daredevil, playing Daredevil and Defenders. Like I know that the like want to get 2 attacks off is strong, but like Daredevil has that AoE 2 on his spender, and sometimes just moving long and getting 1 attack off on 2 to 3 people is worth it. Like in terms of damage, like so Nova, having learned that lesson, Nova is exceptional for that.
So I racked my brain to come up with a couple negatives. Slowing him is very funny.
Yeah, he does not want to be slowed.
And then staggering him also feels really bad.
Oh yeah, he does. Yeah, he hates that.
Like almost probably the most stagger affects anybody.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Like, stagger is because he always wants to do that move.
Yeah.
It's just so easy to put where you want, though. Like
yeah, definitely.
I feel like if you're conscious of it, you're just where you can put him, and he can go where he wants to, not be affected by a stagger, pretty much.
And
unless you don't have a choice, but Yeah.
He's literally all over the board the entire game, from my
Yeah,
experience.
I believe it. Like, yeah.
That
I
Lightspeed
mean,
Lance does take. You have to think about it because he ends up with the last person you attack.
mhm.
So you have to sort of think like, is
And
there
the
a
push.
specific order?
Yeah. And the
And then
push
it
isn't
pushes,
optional. Yeah.
and he pushes all of them, and it's pushed away from where he's standing before he moves. So at the start, he stands, makes his beam attacks, pushes them in whatever order, and then moves next to them. So you gotta.
Mhm.
There's a little bit of. If it was push any direction, it'd probably be too insane.
Probably.
But
Yeah.
it does require some. I mean, I'm sure people will know exactly how to use it, but it takes a little thinking. It will disrupt formations of any sort that you might have had.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're looking for a 5-threat splash and you're looking for energy attacks, like, I mean, he's it.
And call for backup's really good too. Like he also has good cards. Call for backup is
Yeah. Call for backup's good. I don't think the other one is good because you have to play Gamora.
yeah. We discussed that and went over that, and it's like, Gamora.
She's just on the struggle bus.
Yeah, that's a timelines card if there was one.
Yeah.
So yeah. So but the call for backup is and Nova are probably going in every Guardians list.
I think you'll see him a lot in Wakanda as well.
Oh my gosh. With King T'Challa
Yeah.
and just push things and kill. Yep.
You think he sees play in Web Warriors?
I don't know that they want a 5-threat that can't midline grab.
Right.
I don't know. I could see him being more annoying than any of those guys to get to if he picks up something and runs away and then he's shooting you from 5 away. Like, I don't know. You're right though. They don't like 5-threat.
All right.
That's okay. Guardians can have them to themselves. I'm okay with that. Like, I think it's all fair. Like, I like him. I'm obviously high on him.
Do you ever think Faster Than Light was hit and run in playtesting? Because that would be insane.
It's weird. If he didn't already have flight, it might have been slightly better, but I don't think. I think I used it once, and after that, I never needed to.
Yeah, you were just beaming Willy beaming the whole time.
Just yeah, like at some point it was like, all right, I just move in Lightspeed Lance. Somebody might attack him. That's okay. If you attack him, like 4 defenses and 7 health means he's pretty.
Yeah, and I was playing the all defense dice Avengers list, and he was still chewing through my stuff.
Yeah, that's the one thing. Like, I guess about that list is that they're usually good at one-on-one attacks. When he's trying to hit 3 or 4 dudes,
yeah, the beam hurts. Yeah,
yeah, then it hurts.
And he can set it up as easy as anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And do it in the order he needs. So it's specifically wonderfully meta against that list.
Yeah. So I will give him a strong A.
I'm going A+ until I see otherwise. A+.
Yeah, I think he's A+. He's not, I would say, S tier, but he's a strong A+. I'm really excited for him.
Yeah. He will be seen quite a bit, I'm sure.
Unfortunately, I think our next character probably won't.
Yeah, if he got a leadership man. All right, so we got Yondu Udanta. 3 physical, 4 energy, 3 mystic, 6 health on the front, and 5 on the back. 4 threat, size 2, medium move. He's got the Yaka arrow, which is range 5, strength 5, 0 cost. After this attack is resolved, gain power equal to damage dealt. Ignores cover. And has wild slow. And then his spinner is another energy attack, whistle while you work. Range 4, strength 6, cost 3. The wild pierce. And then a wild hit, Yaka Mastery. After this attack is resolved, this character can make a whistle while you work attack without spending power. This attack must target another character within 3 of the original target character and any distance from this character that has not been targeted by a whistle while you work attack this round. He has hit and run. He has a reactive superpower. Ravager codes steal everything. 1 power cost. When a character within 2 of this character would drop 1 or more objective tokens, this character may use this superpower, move 1 objective token the chosen character is holding to this character. This character is now holding it, can't go above the limit specified by the crisis. And then he has quick draw, cost 2 when this character is targeted by an attack, and the attacker is not within 2 of this character may use this superpower. Instead of rolling dice equal to its defense, it rolls 5 defense dice. Then if this character suffers no damage from the attacker suffers 2 damage. With a innate superpower, the Pirate Way, while this character is holding an objective token or contesting a secure objective, it may re-roll 1 die in its attack and defense rolls. I forgot he had quick draw. He might be better than I thought.
I do think, yeah.
He has a tactics card, plundered goods. It is unaffiliated, active. Yondu may spend 2 power to play this card this round when an allied character attacks an enemy character within 3 of an allied Yondu. If the enemy character is holding 1 or more objective tokens, the allied character may reroll up to 2 dice in its attack roll. Additionally, when an allied Yondu attacks an enemy character contesting or holding 1 or more objective tokens this round, after the attack is resolved, he gains 1 power. Alright, go for it.
We'll come back to the card. Okay, so I think much like Man Thing, people were expecting something and didn't get it. And mostly that is a leadership. And because he doesn't have a leadership, he gets compared to everything else. And while Nova is more of the same for Guardians, he goes above and beyond. While Yondu is more of the same and is just more of the same. He's more energy attacks. He does some run and gun. And he has this kind of fun interplay with objective tokens, which is a positive. And I think that's what they're trying to do, is give Guardians more objective play, which they certainly are. But I still don't think Yondu makes that cut at 4 power or 4 threat. When the Guardians core is so cheap. Now they're potentially spending. Yeah.
Turned Australian for a second.
Yeah. And then they're paying 5 for Novas now. And then they can if they want to, splash whatever. Like there's plenty of other 4 drops that they could happily splash, or more expensive characters or less expensive characters that they would be happy to have. So like if Ravager Code was just like a leadership that anybody could do, where they're constantly throwing objective tokens back, I think there could be something
very
to
Guardian too.
But it's just for him. I can pay 2 points and play Toad.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate. I will give them props for trying to fill the fantasy with Whistle While You Work of him just annihilating a ton of dudes with the one arrow going through everybody. That's super fun. But like I said, like everything he does, I feel like is filled in a role already in Guardians, and every other team isn't going to be splashing Yondu.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be splashed anywhere for sure.
Yeah.
So, would you take him or Gamora? Heads up.
I think I'd take Gamora.
What?
I'd take Gamora. Okay, what Gamora? Let me pull up Gamora here really quick. For some reason my computer is super slow. All right, so the biggest thing Gamora has over him is her self throw and deadliest woman in the galaxy,
Yeah, it's a very good ability.
and she is a long mover. So in theory, she contests objectives better than he does in terms of being on places. I mean, he does have that reroll, I guess, but then that's the other thing. He's like, here's your Yondu is going to stand in the back and shoot, and that's what he's going to do. You already have Rocket doing that. You already probably have Star-Lord doing that, and there's a Groot probably in there. Like, you don't need any more of that in Guardians.
All right.
And
So,
so
you
that's
catch him in Nova's beam several times to flip him, to get him Galaxy's greatest, so you can whistle a work for 7 dice. And he gets a reroll and a pierce. It becomes pretty deadly if you can flip him.
yeah. I mean, or you could play, I guess, Bullseye and just hold the point and throw out 1 damage, no benefit from cover, and save your 2 points elsewhere. Like that's my problem with Yondu is that I think there are other teams that would love to have a character like this, like Midnight Suns
Yeah.
in faction, but Guardians already has this covered. They don't need another sit in the back energy shooter.
What do you think, Wheelman?
I don't know. I don't really have. I don't play. I haven't touched Guardians. I haven't even looked at them really. So like you guys said, he doesn't really splash anywhere. So he's just really not on my radar. He just seems kind of meh.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the whistle while you work will be cool. And I guess there's, you could do some stuff to make that happen, but I don't know if it's really worth it. And he doesn't really want to be necessarily in the mix. I guess if you're range 2 behind one of your friendlies, but he does not want to be in the fight, he wants to be in the back line. So, I guess, yeah. I mean, you're facing physical attacks more than likely, so he just sort of feels like a jumble of stuff to me.
Mm-hmm. So the trigger for Yaka Mastery is about 49%. That's not factoring in if he has the reroll or not, but that doesn't seem real great.
Well, it's not great for you.
Yeah,
'cause
definitely
it'll
not for
never
me.
happen for you.
Yeah, especially in a dice. Yeah, it's not great in a dice game because
I do think his card is pretty good because it's at worst net neutral because he's going to attack twice.
So that's the one thing I saw is like he paid 2 to at least get 1 power back to at least get his 2 power back.
Yeah.
So
That said, I don't know that Guardians will ever take it because of their cards. They lost Crew the Milano and somehow still don't have room for cards.
I guess it triggers off of each whistle while you work.
Yeah.
So
As
if
long
you
as
keep
they're
triggering
carrying or contesting, yeah.
yeah. But I feel like that's overkill. Like I feel you're overkilling at that point. If you manage to hit their whole team and their whole team was picking up, was holding something or standing on a point, like who cares if you gained like 5 power off of it? You probably just out damaged their entire team.
Yeah. And then you can't even spend her again because you can't trigger on everybody again. Like if they remove that part of the Yaka Mastery, I think he was really good, to be honest.
Do we think Ravager Code was his leadership in some form?
As a leadership, that's probably a Kingpin level of good. So I don't know.
Yeah, maybe like in some. It's just weird that they backpedaled so far from saying he would have a leadership to he just doesn't.
Yeah.
Not a modification, he just doesn't have one. So very strange.
Definitely. So, what kind of grade would you give this?
I'm gonna go with a C.
I think he's a C only because he feels like he's only going to be in Guardians and they're not going to really play him. I could be wrong, but that's where I'd put him.
Well, he could be the 4-point package instead of the 5-point rocket group
Okay.
package.
All right.
I'm
Here's
trying.
The other
I'm
four.
trying.
The other 4, I can't believe I didn't think about this or not. You said Gamora, and that's all I thought
Bill,
about. Okay,
yeah.
compare this guy to Bill. That's the problem. Like, you're playing a 4. I should have thought of Bill first, but you said Gamora. Compare him to Bill, and Bill brings so much more.
Well, yeah, Bill's like the best 4. So
Yeah, it almost feels like you could have made him a 3-3-3, 6-5 health, and slapped a 3 on his threat. Maybe we'd be having a different conversation.
yeah, he would have been good 3 threat. Considering his builder is almost exactly the same as Rocket's for 2 points cheaper.
Right, exactly.
I'm going to give him a B. I think he's got potential. Not that he will get played, though.
Yeah, be hard to tell.
So that's that box. What kind of rating would you give the box?
I still give it an A.
Out of 10.
Wait, I give it an A out of 10.
An A out of 10.
So a 9?
An A out of 10. I would give it, like a 9. I think that Nova's going to be such a meta piece. Okay, let's say it's a 9 out of 10 if you're playing Guardians just for Nova. I'm sure it's ranked a little lower if you're anybody else because I don't see Nova being splashed anywhere, actually, now that I think about it. And Yondu certainly isn't.
Wakanda, man. Come on.
Playing 2 5-drops for you know what? You do that. I'll let you meme it.
Dude, Wakanda needs some teeth, man.
So I mean it's a 9 in my brain, but I'm so excited. I'm hyped for Nova. I'm hyped to try and play Guardians.
I'm going to go with a 7.
7.
Just because there's so many caveats on this box. It's like if you play Guardians, if you want Nova, so I'm going to go with a 7. And that's mainly held up by Nova.
That's fair. I'm going to go right between you guys at an 8. Because I think you buy this for Nova, and that's about it. And that's also only if you're playing Guardians or Wakanda.
Can't wait to get crapped on by Wakanda with Nova.
Wakanda's got the best win percentage on Longshanks for a long time now. I don't know if they'll even play him.
Oh, but you will.
Oh yeah, for sure. You guys got anything else before we close it out?
I finally got my copy of Separation Anxiety, so we can play 4-player multiplayer games.
I can't wait.
Yeah, that'll be cool. You got a tournament coming up.
Yeah, that's this weekend. Not rated. We've got a bunch of new players at the shop, so
we get to keep our ratings above yours.
Yeah. Forever below you guys.
I guess you and I are seriously considering driving to West Virginia next weekend for the
BECC
tournament there. So
qualifier. Any games that you guys played recently that you want to talk about?
I mean, we played that one round where I played Nova.
That ended up being a really good game. Yeah.
I played a little bit of Professor X, who I enjoy playing, I think. Professor X is like the opposite of Guardians, where Guardians has a nice cheap core. Professor X is not. It's Professor X and Cable, and then you get to decide who else you get to bring.
That sounds like my Avengers list.
Yeah. But I really enjoy Professor X. Like, I think there's like the X-Men have great tactics cards, fantastic tactics cards, and very bland leaderships. I know people love Storm, and Professor X is good. But they're not super exciting. It's like, oh, just a little bit of power. Just a little bit of power. But I want to get back into APOC since that's like the best team I've ever played. And it's a lot of fun for me, both pre and in game.
Yeah. I had my I guess it's Wheelman and I's first time going to round 7 of a game.
Yeah.
We tied at 16 at the end of 6.
I finally
pulled it
squeaked
out
one past
round
you.
7.
Yeah.
Yep.
Managed to pull off 2 wins in a row after
he's on a hot streak.
After no wins last year. So starting the new year out right, I guess. Let's see. I played Kyle, not Keith. Kyle.
It's Keith.
One of the new guys at our local, and we played. I think it was Gamma and Cubes at 15, and I played. I just took a random whatever list, so I had Dracula, Mephisto, and Abomination as my 15, and played under Dracula, not Mephisto. But turns out it doesn't really matter who you play under if your leader gets absolutely annihilated to start the game. So Dracula got to activate one time, not as a reaction, and then he was summarily dazed and then murdered top of turn 3 by Red Skull that could do nothing but roll skulls. So yeah, it was just a complete annihilation. If it had gone one more round, but we realized that we weren't scoring the Gamma, we weren't scoring each other's twos.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that ended up giving him 16 at the end of 4, I think. If we'd gone another one, I had a chance to pull it out, but yeah, losing Dracula, basically bottom of 2, is just not a battle plan for success. So
it's brutal.
But he can't heal if he can't attack. So that's how you beat Dracula, is you just roll all the successes. So
I got a game against Tim, who I also have a game against tomorrow. He played Malekith and Mephisto into me, and they were beating the shit out of me. I ended up getting 16 points just because I had 3 pay to flips. I didn't have like anything going for me that game.
Yeah, that was my first time seeing the Malekith in the wild, so that was kind of cool.
That model's beautiful.
And I never played into Red Skull, so it was like, oh, I can basically I can suffer a damage if I don't have the power and turn every crit into every skull or a skull into a crit, and then he was rolling successes on those crits. So
Yeah, he's converting them.
it's like, oh, I go from blocking, taking 2 to taking 4, or 4 to 6 or 5 to 7, whatever, and doesn't feel
Play
good.
rogue versus him. And your rogue will
Yeah, he's
roll
got
7 damage, 7 successes on a 5 dice.
I think I'll be playing Man Thing against him next time. So
yeah.
that's my anti-Red Skull strat. I'm scarred for life from that.
The meta is fair game at that point.
Yeah.
Alrighty. I guess that'll do it for us. Keep it positive. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.